Welcome to the absolute must-know CPU core concepts. Check this out. You're about to unlock the absolute must-know secrets of the CPU, the brain, the heart, and the power hose of every computer on the planet. Forget boring textbooks. This is going to feel like sci-fi, but it's not. So, picture this. Picture a CPU as a master chef in a crazy busy kitchen. He's juggling recipes, shouting instructions, and making sure that every dish comes out perfect. The registers, that's his prep station. Tiny bowls and cutting bots holding the next ingredient. The external data bus, that's the waiters racing back and forth pantry, and the address bus, those are the order slips telling exactly which shelf to grab it from. And the clock wire, that's the relentless kitchen timer, tick tick tick, pushing the chef to keep the dishes moving nonstop. Now we talk about the timekeepers of the CPU and rhythmic pulse. Every move the CPU makes is timed to a drum beat. The clock cycle, faster the beat, the faster the brain. Imagine a drummer speeding up from a chill jazz groove to a heavy metal blast beat. That's what happens when the CPU goes from megahertz to gigahertz. Crazy, crazier, and insane. Now we talk about the CPU and the memory and their partnership. The CPU doesn't work alone. It's got RAM and it's got RAM, random access memory, the quick draw assistance. Hard drives are too slow. So the RAM loads the programs that the CPU needs right now, and the MCC, which stands for Memory Controller Chip, plays the middleman like a waiter fetching orders. And then there's the 32-bit CPUs can only see 4 gigabytes of memory. And then the 64-bit, that's like opening the door to an infinite warehouse. And now we talk about the cache. The cache is the secret weapon. But even RAM is too slow sometimes. And then that's where the cache enters. It's like the CPU's private stash of it's like the CPU's private stash of Red Bull. L1 is like a pocket stash, L2 is like a backpack stash, and then L3 is like a shared fridge full of energy drinks. And then what are the results? No waiting in line, just pure speed. Now, let's talk about the CPU titans. Who makes these brains? It's the clash of the titans. Intel, AMD, and ARM. Intel is like the old school king, and then the AMD is like the comeback champ, breaking records with Ryzen. And the ARM, that's the mobile ninja powering your phone and even Apple's Macs. It's like Marvel, DC, and anime colliding in one epic crossover. And then the following Intel, AMD, and ARM, these are the following. Everything that is listed below about Intel is what Intel is known about. And same goes for AMD and ARM. And then we talk about the modern CPUs. Modern CPUs aren't just fast, they are super powered. Multi-core chips, that's like giving Iron Man multiple suits at once. And then hyperthreading, that's like one core pulling a clone jitsu and acting like two. And then that's when virtualization is building an entire computers inside of one computer. And then the security bits, your built-in anti-malware shield with new medicines helping us with new medicines, new metals, new cities, all possible because of this tech. Multi-core. many brains in one chip, 64-bit. That's more than 64 gigabytes of RAM. And then IMC and GPU, that is integrated memory controllers and graphics. Hyperthreading, which is a logical core split into core, jitsu, clone jitsu. Virtualization, which is efficient. And then the security, which helps with our malware execution and prevention. Now, let's talk about picking the right CPU. Here's the golden rule. Compatibility is everything. Wrong socket, your CPU is a paperweight. The wrong chipset, your no boot, forget cooling, say hello to shutdown city. Intel loves LGA sockets, which stands for LAN grid sockets, and AMD loves pin grid arrays, PGAs, which stands for pin grid arrays, treated like matching superheroes with the right armor. And make sure that you are making sure that everything is compatible with your computer. So before you think about buying anything, think about, is it compatible with your computer? Does it work with your computer? Is it compatible with your computer? Get it? Good. And now let's talk about the pitfalls and overclocking. Now, the mistakes. If you ever force a CPU into the socket, congrats, you've just made a 300 Rand coaster, 300 Rand, $300 coaster. And then let's talk about thermal paste. If you put too much thermal paste, it's like a peanut butter insulation. And then if you put too little, it's air gaps of doom, meaning that the air gaps will cause doom to your insulation, thermal paste. And then overclocking, it's like putting NOS into your car and insane speeds, but it will melt your engine if you push it too far. Sounds like sci-fi, but it's not. And then about overheating, that is the number one CPU killer. So be careful if you want to if you think about overclocking, because that is a danger zone. And then the thermal paste, try to make sure that you don't add too much or too little, just right. So these are the exam gold, and we are wrapping up. Here is your cheat code. CPUs. Most of the CPU issues are caused by overheating. And then you need to learn these acronyms. What does VTX stand for? That stands for Internal Virtualization Technology. Intel Virtualization Technology. And then what does AMD stand for? AMDV stand for? AMDV stands for AMD Virtualization. And then what does LGA stand for? LAN Grid Array. And then what does PGA stand for? Pin Grid Array. And then what does ALU stand for? Arithmetic Logic Unit. And then what does IMC stand for? Integrated Memory Controller. That's correct. And we're done. Bye. Before I wrap up, I just want you to know that at the end of the day, CPUs aren't just chips. They are the digital engines building our future. And trust me, this is the future of everything.